Everyone. Thanks for joining us to hear about our top 5 reasons to study abroad in South Korea. My name is Crystal, and I'm the program manager for South Korea at TEAN. And once students are enrolled in a South Korea program, I'm here to help with the application steps, provide information about housing, visas, course registration, booking a flight, what to pack, essentially everything up to stepping on that plane. I'm here to support students. And shortly after starting with TEAN, I actually went to South Korea for about 3 weeks and immediately fell in love with the country. So I'm super excited to talk about my favorite things in South Korea. And with me today, I actually have a summer 2021 alumni who will help share some of the wonderful things about South Korea. Hey, Rafaela, want to introduce yourself? Rafaela, sorry.
Hey. Thanks, Crystal. Hi, everyone. My name is Rafaela, and I went to South Korea this last summer for a 6-week program. And overall, it was like the best time of my life. I felt like I was the best version of myself in Korea. I'm actually planning to go back when I graduate in like next summer. It was amazing. So, first reason is the world class education. Honestly, there it was amazing going to a sky school, which is equivalent to an Ivy League here. So it would be like the Harvard of Korea. I went to South Korea. I went to the Korea University in Seoul. So it was absolutely amazing. Their staff there was really good. Like I did Korean alphabet and marketing here, and it was great to learn Korean in class. And like the way that the Korean classes went, they were fully like immersive. Like she basically spoke Korean like 90% of the time. So I felt like I was really retaining a lot of information and practicing while I was in class. So it was great for like learning new things, especially since I didn't know anything when I got there. Not a good idea for everybody else, but it's like amazing and beautiful campus, by the way, absolutely gorgeous, really big. So like walking, it was hot and I was dying, but it was gorgeous to look at all the trees and all the like infrastructure and their lions. I have like a lot of like little lion things. I have a jacket, like it's right next to me. I would show it to everyone, but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Korea University is always battling for, number 2 spot, number 3, try to get number 1 as one of the top schools. So it is really really special to participate in a program, especially at Korea University, to have that prestigious school, not only with it being like academically challenging, but then also kind of a nice little resume booster. And actually not far behind that on the top list of schools is Hanyang University as well. And that, I just checked it today. I think it's listed at like number 6 or something for top schools. So that's a nice, still another really good school. They're a little bit more centrally located within the city. Yeah, and kind of more of a modern style feel to the classroom, whereas Korea University is that very like traditional school. So yeah, it's a really good, definitely world-class education there. So we'll move along to reason number 4, which I'm sure everybody thinks of right away. When you think of South Korea, you think of shopping. And I'm personally not a big mall shopper, but the malls are huge in South Korea and everywhere. However, one of the stores, though, that always makes me smile when I think of South Korea is the Line Friends store. And I'm sure, Rafael, I know you use Kakao Talk because that's like the big thing in South Korea, but the Line is another WhatsApp like version. And South Korea actually created that for like Japan and Thailand for other countries. And they have a Line store with this huge bear in the front of the store as soon as you walk into it. So I don't know if you saw that, but it's like the best spot for selfies and for like group photos too. So if you want to just Google Line Friends store, you'll immediately smile because the bear is adorable. And then street markets, though, are super popular, and that's kind of more my style. I think it's so fun to be like walking around in and out of different stores and with like the vendors out in the markets. So, Rafaela, if you want to let us know a few of your favorite stores or maybe some shopping memories that you have.
Oh my gosh. I love to shop. Like that is my thing. And I do like a lot of retail therapy for self-care. And when I tell you I loved myself in Korea because I was buying everything. I was in every store. Like, okay. And when I go back, I told myself that I'm not going to go to Hongdae because Hongdae is basically like shopping capital. Like it was so funny because I'm so easy to persuade to buy things. And I would go to Hongdae, be like, no, I'm gonna go to this specific store and not go to any other store. But one person will be like, hey, do you want to look at my store? And then I leave with like half the products. The funniest thing happened. I went to this one store and like before when I first went, like it was like her shoes were on the floor, like everything was like she didn't have a lot of setup because she like wasn't like it's her first time opening the store. And I bought so much stuff that when I went back a second time, she had like shelves, nice displays. She was like, thank you so much. It's because of your purchase, because I bought so much. I bought like dresses, so many dresses, a lot of, yeah, I couldn't stop.
How did you get everything home with you?
Okay, funny story. I literally my luggage ended up being too big. So I went to the post office and then I ended up shipping like tons worth of clothes. Like it was like really big shipping. And when my mom saw it at her house, she was like, what is this? It was like big boxes, like those industrial sized boxes. Like she was like, did you go to shop? Like, did you not go to class? Like she was like, I'm so confused.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's a good story. It's so funny. You're up next for the number 3 reason.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Number 3.
You got sidetracked with all the shopping and thinking about your clothes and stuff, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm going to show everyone. I have this that I bought from Korea University. It's a coin purse. I forgot to show it when I was talking about shopping. It's really cute.
So cute.
Yes. Okay. And panoramic views. It was absolutely gorgeous in Korea. I went to so many different places after my program. I ended up staying a couple like days. And in that picture with me, I'm on top of a building in Korea, like just on top of a random building for a photo shoot. It was so gorgeous. Like the view was amazing, but I had to climb up the sketchy ladder. And the guy was like, make sure you bring sneakers. And what did I not bring? Sneakers. I brought up sandals, and then I was like, I thought I was gonna die, y'all, because the ladder was so tall. I was like, he's like, you're gonna be fine. And when I got up there, I was like ready to take pictures on the ledge. He was like, let's not do that. I got too comfortable. But it was amazing. They had amazing nature spots, and TEAN brings you on different excursions. Like we went to Nami Island, which was I would have never personally thought to do that by myself, but TEAN will like provide different like opportunities for you to see things. And like we went to Seoul Tower, which was amazing views. We went to like 2 towers and we got to see things, and they give you like host people that will stay with you. We had Minhee, and she showed me around like a bunch of different areas. So if you go with TEAN, they will take you places. So if you think you can't find them on your own, you will find them with TEAN, like for sure. I went to so many different places because of TEAN, and that was like amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I love Minhee. I met her when I was in South Korea. Yeah, yeah, she's so nice, and Isu as well. Like I went out to lunch with them like every day, and it was like I had friends like immediately. Like they're so great. And I love that. Yeah, you went to Lotte Tower. That's like my favorite. It's I think the
It was
5th tallest building now in the world.
It
Is that
is. They
right?
have like a little display and they show you the tallest building and like where it is on the like on the scale. It's so cool. So amazing.
Yeah, when I was there though, I didn't go in and like go up the tower. I walked around though, and I think I took like 100 pictures or something. And I was with a friend, and then we got coffee outside just so I could like stare at it some more. Like I love tall buildings. So yeah, and I know that's one of the excursions, as well as going to Lotte Tower world and all those things. So that's really cool that yeah, that you mentioned Minhee. I just got excited thinking about her.
Yes, I felt like it was like a check, like when you're playing a game and they have that person as a checkpoint. Like every time I saw Minhee, I was like, oh my God, I made it to the next level of Korea. Like, it was so funny.
That's awesome. Nice. Oh, and one of the things too I thought was really neat at Hanyang University, the other program that we have in Seoul, since it's located within like the city, it's really hilly. South Korea in general, or at least Seoul anyway, is very hilly and there's like a lot of walking, but Hanyang does have some really cool city views as well, just like on campus, which is really cool. And all right, let's get on to number two. This one I've been waiting to talk about. So the number two reason is the food. And the thing that's right here, the Korean barbecue. What I love about Korean food is actually how like interactive it is the way I kind of describe it, is that besides the Korean barbecue where the food is like right in front of you and it's getting cooked and then you can add your vegetables and things, hot pots are also super popular. So you'll have the, hot pot right in front of you, and a lot of places might have like a little like buffet style kind of setup where it's just like the raw vegetables or raw ingredients and then you add them into the pot. And I thought that was such a unique experience. And it was so many different places you would see that, where it's so fun to be, especially with like a group of friends, where you're kind of like, adding things and talking about it versus just, like waiting for your food to arrive. So I think that's like super fun about Korean food. And then the one thing that like really surprised me when I was there was that fried chicken is like huge there, and seeing restaurants that are just called chicken and beer. It's like, well, this is my favorite place now ever. And like the different flavors of like fried chicken that they have and like paired with beer. And you wouldn't think that it would be different, but like it is different than in the US. Like there's definitely like a distinction between like Korean fried chicken versus like fried chicken you can get elsewhere. So what are some of your favorite like foods or food memories?
Oh my gosh. So I loved the food there. I was thriving when we got out of quarantine, since we had a quarantine in the summer. When we got out of quarantine and I got chicken, fried chicken for sure. I was like eating fried chicken every night until I was like, let me just try more. And then Korean barbecue, samgyeopsal. I could live for samgyeopsal. It's like thinly cut pork belly. It's so good. And like every Korean barbecue is different. And so like the flavor profile was different. And so like that really was like, it's not, you don't get the same meal like everywhere. Like it was a different experience everywhere. And I loved that because it was just like, I was always full. I was always full. And the portion sizes are really big too. Like they give food to share. So like I would order fried chicken for myself and I'd be like, dang, who's eating all this? And it was me. I did eat all of it. It was amazing. I felt so happy, satisfied. I was never hungry there because I was just like fried chicken everywhere. The chicken and beer is really good. Oh my gosh. And like it's a lot of like friend activities. Like it's really great to like bond with people over a meal. So like I really enjoyed that in Korea.
What about kimchi? Did you eat a lot of
But
kimchi?
okay, I'll be honest, y'all. I don't like kimchi. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I don't
What?
like kimchi. I'm sorry, y'all. It's it's
Oh
for
no,
those.
you're off this. I'm kicking you out.
I'm sorry. I didn't like it. I tried it every different place, and I was like, still.
That's
So
okay. An
I
acquired
tried
taste.
literally like 2 weeks ago when I tried Korean barbecue here to see like if it was like good as Korea. It's good, but it's not as good as Korea. Like the authentic thing, you like need to be there to like amazing. It's amazing where it's from. But kimchi everywhere, don't like. I'll be honest.
Okay, how about gimbops? How about that?
Okay, gimbaps are good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
good.
tteokbokki tastes like something from my culture. So like it was very comforting because I was like, oh my god, this tastes like something that I have, like I my mom would make at home. It just like had a different sauce.
Oh, that's what those are, like the little rice pillow
Yeah,
things.
they're like the little balls and like they put them in that red sauce.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I think I ate that like almost at every market I went to.
Yeah, they're really common. Like everyone was selling basically the same food at that market, and I was like, oh, it was like, oh my gosh, who do I go to? And they were also nice. Oh, it was amazing. Yes. So on to number one.
Number one, what is it?
Yes. Things that I love about their culture. Like that's me. That's me at the I can't remember which palace, but we got to dress in traditional hanbok and go to a palace, and it was amazing. Like I felt so grateful that I was allowed to be a part of someone else's culture and they were sharing pieces of their cultures with me. And I felt like I was learning so much, and it was like amazing to like be able to be there and experience it. And it's different because I like loved consuming a lot of Korean media, and like I love K-pop, I love K-dramas, like I watch K-dramas like every night to go to sleep. Like I love all of that, but seeing it like live and in your face is something different than like being here and just like learning about it. It was amazing to get hands-on experience. So it was just like one of my favorite memories of that palace. I was sweating in the outfit to tell everybody like, yo, those are hot. It was hot and I was sweating in the outfit, but it was so great. I was having my princess moment. Like all my pictures, I was like, oh my God, wow, I'm in a K-drama. Oh my God, the funniest thing happened. Like some of our group members, I asked them if they would like take a picture. Me and my friend, we acted like we were in a K-drama, and we were like, it was a love triangle, and one of the guys was like in the middle, and we were like, we have a picture of it, and we were like, we're gonna make it into a drama background. It's so funny. I find it hilarious.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was
I love that. That's so cool. And like so many people do that. Did you see a lot of couples there, even like local
a lot of
Koreans
couples.
do that? Yeah, like I remember when I was there too, and I was surprised to see. I thought it would just be like some cheesy touristy thing, but like a lot of couples would go there for their anniversary or something and would like dress up and take pictures, or for different birthdays, celebrations. Like it's really popular to do even for local people that's there.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were just there on a date. Like they went to the cafe. I was like, this is so cute. There's a lot of couples in Korea. That is, there's a
Yeah.
lot. So
What about the matching clothes? Did you notice that with the
so
couples?
there was a couple that had matching hair,
Yes.
matching outfits, matching shoes. I saw them everywhere, and I was like, you just want me to feel single. I was like, y'all just want me to feel single. It was so cute. They were adorable and they were so nice. They even talked to us. I was like, oh my God, I see you everywhere. And they're like, we see you everywhere. I was like, I'm very noticeable. It was so funny. I like when I go to Hongdae when I wasn't supposed to, because I'd just be I don't have a limit. I would see them at Hongdae like every other weekend. I'd be like, hey.
That's awesome. Yeah, one thing I noticed too that I love, especially about the culture, is just how friendly and welcoming everybody was, like the local Koreans are. And I was kind of surprised at that, but I took a bus from Seoul to the Sereksan National Park, which is like northeast. And when I was on the bus, there wasn't any other Americans there, and I was by myself, and I didn't know we had stopped somewhere to get snacks. And I was like, how long is this stop? What am I supposed to do? And I asked an older lady, and she didn't speak any English, but she like took me, and like when we went to inside the bus stop, I bought like some cookies, or I tried to buy it, and she just like paid for it. So she paid for my little cookies. And then when we got back on the bus, because I just followed her around then because I didn't know still what time we are supposed to be leaving. And then when we got back on the bus, she opened up her snacks and like set, kind of gave them to me too, and like shared her snacks with me. And it was just like the sweetest thing. So, and I thought I saw that a lot too on buses. If I was like holding a bag, I think I was going to the airport, and people would get up and like want me to sit down. So they're very, yeah, welcoming and want to help and are happy to like have Americans there, I think. And
Yeah, a lot
yeah.
of people tried to help me. Like there was, I just have a face. I look lost, and so basically, people would be like, "Are you lost? Are you okay?" And like use the barely any English they know, and then they would help me like for real. And like people would show me times and stuff, and be like, "Look at this. Pay attention to this." I know there was a one time like the train stopped very abruptly, and I was so confused. Like everyone stopped, and everyone was getting off this train, and I was so confused. And one of the guy was like, get off the train, because the train was going the other direction, and I did not know that. And like when I got off the train moved. I was like, oh, you saved my life, because I was going the wrong way. I was about to go the wrong way. So a lot of people helped, and I really appreciated that, because like I was so lost for a minute.
That's
And
awesome. That kind of leads me to, yeah, with like the language. Was it hard? Because you mentioned earlier that you didn't really know any of the language before you left. Was it hard when you were there, or how did you kind of navigate that language barrier?
okay, so I advise everyone to learn learn conversational Korean before you go, because I got on the plane and they had like a little like thing, and they said, oh, English to Korean, like teaching you Korean on the plane. And I thought I was fluent. And then I got off the plane and forgot all the Korean I knew. So I was like, I was struggling for a bit in the airport, but like, you can do it. You can do it and not know Korean and go to Korea and like still survive. And you'll pick up really quickly, like how to say, like, oh, what you want, like how to pay for things. And I learned those pretty quickly, but Google Translate, they have their specific one. I forgot what it was called. When I'll look at my phone and I'll put in the chat, but like you can take pictures of stuff and then they'll translate things. So that's how I survived. But guys, I don't advise it. I don't advise it. Learn some Korean. Learn how to say hello, I'm lost, or where's the bathroom, because sometimes it be you need to use the bathroom and you don't know how to say it, and so you're looking around.
That's
Like
so
fighting for
funny.
your life.
Yeah, when I was there, I learned how to say like hello and thank you, and that was about it. And I remember I was at a Baskin Robbins and trying with my friend ordering ice cream, and I think I ended up getting like two ice cream cones, like two scoops each, and like I was trying to like not order for her, and we ended up with like three cones, but it was fine. It was ice cream. Like we made it work. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, so much for sharing some of those stories with us. I want to just kind of open this up to see if there's any questions. So we have a webinar actually later on this month that features Black alumni and their experiences. How did you handle your identity abroad? I know you kind of mentioned that you had a lot of people coming up to you and you're noticeable and stuff. So kind of how did you navigate that while you were there?
Yeah, so like before I went, I had to like fully be prepared to understand like racism exists. So like there's a couple of things, like some people just really are ignorant and they don't know because it is a homogeneous like society. So I did a lot of research by watching a lot of black YouTubers who went to Korea and their experiences and like how they navigated the world in Korea. So it was just like I was fully prepared in knowing all these things, and it was like I wasn't scared at all because it is really safe and people are really nice in Korea. So it's just like one of those things where you have to like just know that it exists, and if you experience it, unfortunately, like you just have to know that it's just one of those things that like we're going to exist as black people or people of color like are going to experience in different countries. So it was one of those things where I was like I was worried about it, but it wasn't one of those things I was going to let bring me down in an experience that I really wanted to experience. So one of my advice to you is like I want you if you are like a person of color and you're worried about going to Korea, like just know that you are you and you're going to look how you look, and you can have fun if people don't come up to you or talk to you because of what you are. Like you just understand that's one of those things that comes with coming to a country of that like society. It's just one of those things that you have to like come to terms with. And there are definitely a lot of other people who go and look like you. So if you need anyone to talk to, I'm going to put my uh Instagram in the chat. So like if you ever want to talk to me about it, I'm totally available to talk. And like I'm planning to go back, so if you go at the time that I go, like we can say hi or something. That'd be so cool. So yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for wow, like putting your stuff out there and letting everybody have access to you. You might get a lot of questions. One of the questions that yeah, I just saw was about safety in Seoul, and you know, is it safe there and like kind of easy to navigate? I know that just as like you know I've googled some things and stuff, whereas like South Korea and like Japan, they're always kind of listed as one of the safest countries. And
Right.
I when I was there, I was traveling by myself, and for me I felt really safe because I just felt like everything was kind of so clean, and the areas that I was at you know like with even with the subways, like the subway system I was surprised at, like going down below in the subway it smelled good, and like there's bakeries down there and things, and I was like I've never been in a subway like this clean before. So I know I felt really safe. How did you feel when you were there?
I felt really, really safe. Like I did have a situation where me and my friend, we unfortunately got lost at like 1 a.m. at night, and like we were lost for a couple hours, and I was not scared of anyone like approaching me like as I would here. Like I live in Florida, I live in like South Florida, and it's scary here at night. I was not scared like that. Like I was just scared about me not finding my room. And then people ended up I went up going into a convenience store and someone helped me put me in a taxi, paid for my taxi and
Hmm.
everything. It
Oh
was
my
crazy.
gosh.
Like that's just how it is. Like I didn't feel unsafe. And your question, easy to navigate. So I'll be honest, it was a little difficult to navigate at first because there's two different apps and they don't sync. So I recommend getting both the apps, and like if one doesn't work, go to the other. There's Cacao Maps and then there's Naver Maps. So get both of those and then use both of them simultaneously. And if they're syncing up, that means you're going the right way. If one of them is not off, one of them's off. I trusted Naver Maps in
Mm.
like on going like when you're on the ground and you're walking, but I trust Cacao in like the subway. The subway routes
Mm.
were always on point. So there's two different things that you could use. So just make sure to use those interchangeably. And if you go the wrong way, then you just kind of have to reroute yourself. You'll be fine. I promise. If you get lost, someone will probably see you and try to help you as well. So you'll be fine.
That's awesome. Another question that's come up too is it easy to be vegan in South Korea? I know the tricky thing with, we talked about this earlier, kimchi, is that you think it's, it's just cabbage and fermented vegetables. But a lot of kimchi does have shrimp paste in it. So that can be something to definitely be cautious of when eating kimchi, is that there could be shrimp paste in it. And I've heard too, though I'm not vegan myself, so, but I know that some students, they found like Chinese restaurants to be the best place kind of for like vegetarian or like vegan options as well, because meat does tend to be, served with most meals in Korea. But the nice thing too is that it's also separated, like especially like at the barbecues, where you would have like all these different like containers with like different, food that's offered. So you can navigate. It might be a little bit trickier because it's not quite as popular there. And they wouldn't know the word for like vegan or like gluten free. I know that's another tricky one there too. But I don't know, Rafaela, did you have any like friends or know of other students that were vegan
Yes,
when
I
you were there?
knew of I didn't know there wasn't any vegans, there were vegetarians. Um, but I myself, I'm a meat, like I eat meat, like so I basically ate chicken every day, I'll be honest. But there are different types of shops, but one thing I know is it's going to be hard to get substitutes because they don't really do substitution. Like in America, you could be like I don't eat cheese and like you won't get cheese, but it's really hard to do that. So like there's a lot of places that will carry like more options. And I think if you go eat with a bunch of people and they have like different like stuff, like if you go to a Korean barbecue and they're cooking like the vegetables, make sure to get your vegetables first before they put the meat so you don't get cross contamination. Or in hot pot, like you can put your vegetables in there first type situation. So there's ways you can work around it. And I know there's like vegans who went to Korea already, so you can watch their YouTubes and like maybe they have better tips and tricks than we do. So for sure, do your research on it, and you can definitely find a way around it. For sure. And also, like there were kitchens in our dorms, so maybe potentially you could maybe cook for yourself if that's an option at the dorm you pick. Just saying,
Awesome.
just add more
Yeah,
options.
no, those are some really, yeah, really good tips. I didn't think about that of like cooking your vegetables like first, kind of in those group settings. So yeah, that's a super good idea. Another question that was brought up was about scholarship options and financial aid. Financial aid can be applied to any of our teen programs. That would be something though you would have to work with your university on. So you apply for financial aid there. And then you'd have to make sure that your financial aid package is allowed to be used towards your study abroad program. And then, yeah, then if it is allowed to be used with study abroad, then we would definitely accept that. And we do have applications for scholarships as well on our teen website. I don't know if that's been shared yet or not, but if that wants to get dropped in, I think the summer application deadline is coming up on February 28th. So there's still time to get in for the summer teen scholarships. And then if you get scholarships from outside sources, I know on our website as well, we have some external resources like the Gilman Scholarship is really popular, I know, for South Korea, the Freeman Scholarship as well. So those can all be, those two anyway, are typically applied to can be used towards the program. So I know the Gilman Scholarship, I think a lot of students get that. But that's a good one, yeah, to look into. When should a student start learning Korean? Again, I think that it can go either way. We've had a lot of students that just, like Rafaela, didn't know any of it, showed up, and then started taking classes when they arrived. It is I mean, from what I've heard, I don't speak Korean, but Rafaela, you could maybe say this a little bit more as far as for like picking it up while you're there. It can be quicker to learn, obviously, when you're there and you're immersed in the culture. But if you want to start taking classes now, there's, what is it? Talk to Me.
Oh yeah,
In
talk to me in
Korean.
Korean. Talk to
Yeah.
me is very good. That's how my friend learned. She started learning 3 months in advance, and she was picking up very fast. Like when we were on our taxi ride when we first got there, she was able to communicate with our taxi driver. So I will say, talk to me Korean. Their workbook is really comprehensive too. Like I looked at it, there's like a bunch of different options. There's also like Korean tutors that you can find online. Like I'm looking into that because I'm going back and I'm not going to make the same mistake. So for sure, I'd say like there's different options of things that you could do, but I would say start learning now. I do not recommend trying to learn on the plane.
So either do it beforehand or just wait till you get there and then go for it.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't because you can make it. I'm living proof. But it's like it's better if you can like have little conversations with people. And a lot of people like to try to do language exchange with you on the subway. Like a lot of people try to come up to me and be like, "Where are you from?" and like, "What school do you go to?" and stuff like that. And it would be nice if I could have like had more longer conversations with people. So I would say like, I would recommend you learn.
Yeah, I think any advanced, classes that you can do before you leave is going to be helpful. Even if it is just like a few conversational, things. All right. I think we've, yeah, got most of the questions kind of answered in the chat or that we've talked about. So again, yeah, this was super fun. I loved actually more hearing about your stories,
Let's hear
Rafaela.
about your
And this
story.
is, yeah, and it's making me hungry and then like miss traveling and all those things. So I really appreciate you, yeah, being here. And again, for like sharing your information too, that was great. So definitely feel free to reach out. And then also if you have questions for TEAN, what I think we'll put our email address in there in the chat here as well. So you can always reach out with any questions that you have about South Korea. So Rafaela, I'm going to let you end this with saying goodbye on this slide.
Y'all, let's see what she got from last summer. Okay, 안녕히 가세요, everyone.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. Have a good night.